Hey Dragonlings, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sky, and I typically write paranormal romance under the name SD Haggis. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at how I create invoices with PayPal for my freelance clients. This video was a special request from a friend of mine who asked me how to make invoices. I had to explain that I have never created an invoice in a program like Microsoft Word or even Excel. I know that in the future I would like to learn how to create those, but at this time I just don't because I accept all my payments through PayPal, and it's just much easier to send an invoice through PayPal as well, since that is where I accept payments. So we're going to just take a quick look at how I create my invoices. I do freelance formatting. I have, on a rare occasion, done some transcription, and either way I've sent any invoices for whatever work I've done through PayPal. Of course, in order to make a PayPal invoice, you do already need to have a PayPal account set up. That moment when you film an entire video and you're keeping an eye on your audio so that you can make sure that you've got the audio filming correctly, but you don't double check your video footage to make sure it is filming correctly and you're not even recording. Yeah, I may have done that. Take two, let's try this again. Once you're logged into your account, all you have to do is go to the top right corner of the page where it has this blue outline of a circle, white circle with 3 blue dots in it, and it says More. You click on that, it will bring a drop-down menu. You're going all the way to the bottom to one of the last two. You're going to the second to the last that says Create an Invoice, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create an invoice. When this page loads, it automatically starts me with my default freelance formatting template. This is one I created last year. It actually has all of my formatting related services listed on it, and I just add and remove what I do or don't need as I go when I send it out to clients. But for the purpose of this video, we're actually going to create a brand new template. We have the option when we go over to my templates to do it by amount only, hours, and quantity. We're going to skip all of that. You're welcome to do that if you would like to, depending on how you charge for your services. But what I'm going to do is actually scroll on down to create a new template, and we're going to start from scratch. You can actually see the one I did start from scratch on for the original video that I wasn't recording. But let's try this again. All right, as you can see, we have a blank template here that we're going to fill in. The top portion, obviously, is going to be the information about the invoice itself. You can add a company logo if you actually have one. Your business information is going to be your name, your business name if you have a business, or if you're just doing it under your own name, just put your name, your contact information, phone number, email, website, that kind of information. All of that's going to be under business information. I'm not even going to bother opening that. It should be self-explanatory. Just click the edit button and make sure it matches what you want it to say. Over to the right of that, there is the frequency. You can click this drop-down menu and choose how often you want this to be sent out. I always personally choose only once because of the fact that my templates have everything and anything on them, and I just edit each one based on the client's needs. But you can also do it weekly, monthly, yearly, quarterly, or you can customize it depending on your client. Maybe you have a client that keeps coming back for more work done, and you have a specific template for that particular client. So you might want to do a custom one. It just varies. To me, the only once is just easier. The invoice number and the date will automatically fill in as you use the template. It will start at 0001, I believe, and increase by 1 every time you make a new invoice using that template. The reference number is something I really don't understand. I never use it. It says such as PO number. I'm guessing that's supposed to be like a PO box number. Again, I'm not quite certain what that's referring to. If you know what this is for, feel free to let me know. Put it down in the comment section. I'm actually kind of curious, and I've never really looked into it. And it doesn't have one of those little informational eyes next to it like the frequency and due date do. The due date is the next thing. You can choose whether or not there is a due date, and if so, when it is, from the drop-down menu. The next thing is one of the more important items after all of your regular information is put in. the type of service you're doing, you have the option of doing shippable goods, pick-up or drop-off goods, digital goods, or service rendered. Because of the fact that I do formatting, I always choose digital goods. So we're going to go ahead and click that as if that's what we're doing. Build to and CC, I always leave blank because of the fact that I use the same template over and over again to many different clients. But if you're making a specific template for a particular client, you're welcome to add their email address in here or their name if you've already added them as a customer, so that you can just have that same template ready to send to that particular person over and over again. This is where you actually put your services. Under Customize, you can choose to do it based on quantity, hours, amount, or you can add and remove details depending on what you're looking at. You have the option of adding tax, detailed description. You can actually take that out if you don't want it there. Item discount, whether or not the item can be discounted. A date. Other details like the subtotal for the subtotal, the invoice discount, the shipping, the amount, the custom amount that you're doing. Then there's always advanced tax options that you can add in. I live in the US, so I always use US dollars for the monetary service, but if you live in another country, they've got a whole bunch on this list that you can choose from. If you live in Canada, you can choose to have it in CAD, Canadian dollars. I'm pretty certain it's actually just CAD versus CAD, but I've always said CAD. I don't know. Sorry. The next is where you actually put your services in. Item name. In the past, I've just done something like ebook formatting. The description is optional. I personally, as a client, I like seeing what I'm paying for in as much details as possible. So I tried to do the same thing for my client. I let them know what I'm going to be using program-wise to format their manuscript. In this case, I'm probably going to use Vellum. And you can add as much detail as you want. I've seen some people, this is more my experience with cover designers, that label them their package. They have specific packages with various items in it, if that makes sense. So they'll have like a bronze, a silver, a gold. Or, again, I see this a lot with cover artists. They offer like ebook by itself, ebook and paperback and audiobook. All of that plus social media graphics. Like they have different packages. And for something like that, you can do maybe, and then in the description, you could kind of label it. So let's say the bronze package is just ebook formatting in this case, or maybe like they're having a silver package and it will include ebook formatting and paperback formatting. But we'll get to that in just a second. I'll add some more in just a second to show you what I mean. The next is the quantity, especially if you're doing shippable goods. If you are trying to send someone, say, a painting, and you're sending them 4 paintings, you can change the quantity to how many paintings they're receiving. The next thing, of course, is the price per quantity. So if you're only sending 1, do the price for 1. For my basic formatting with just ebook in Vellum, I do $30. Now, next you have the option of doing tax. I personally add 7% tax in because tax in my state is 7%. You can add a different tax if you want, or you can choose to have no tax at all. I personally add 7% tax in with all of my invoices. PayPal does pull a fee. I don't remember if it's on the client's end or the invoice sender's end. I can't remember, but it's like 2% or something to that effect. Again, I can't remember exactly. PayPal draws their fees. They like being paid as well. So otherwise, I just do the tax because I really don't want to have to deal with the IRS saying, where's my money at? I make sure I have that money set aside for them. Basically is what it comes down to. The amount will be your price times your quantity, and then you can choose to either get rid of this line or add more lines depending on what you have for your services. I'm going to go ahead and add another service in real quick just so you can see what it would possibly look like. Okay, as you can see, I went ahead and just added a couple other specs in here that can kind of show you what I'm talking about. I went ahead and did 3 types of packages, each with different levels of formatting, and then I also did custom chapter headings. And as you can see, it added in my tax, it added in my amounts, and did the amount times the quantity. I'm going to go ahead and change this chapter heading quantity. Maybe it has only 15 chapters, but they did custom headings for each chapter. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. So This changes the amount, and that's when we go to the next section down here where it calculates our subtotal. Now, our subtotal is going to be all of these amounts added up together, of course. Then there's the discount. You can choose to add a discount. Maybe you have a deal going where if they purchase a gold package, they get chapter headings for free. So you're going to give them a dollar amount discount by the total of the chapter headings. Next thing, if you are doing shipping goods, especially, find out how much shipping and handling is going to be, and go ahead and enter your shipping amount here. Let's just pretend I'm going to be shipping some items and it's going to be $7.99 for me to ship these items. Go ahead and add that. Once you add that in, of course, you can choose whether or not you have tax on the shipping. I wouldn't even worry about it because my shipping cost would be with tax added in, honestly. And then, of course, this is where it does the tax percentage, and it adds everything together to give you your total amount that you would be charging your client. The next section is these two options down here where you can allow you for partial payment. Maybe your client has to pay some down now, and then they can pay the rest off at a later date. That's up to you. I know that when I purchase covers, I always have to have a certain percentage down of the total cost, and then I can pay the rest when I receive that cover. Again, this depends on the cover artist you're working with, but you could do something like that for whatever services you offer as well. The next thing I always suggest is allow your customers to add a tip. If you do good enough work, people are going to tip you sometimes because you are offering a service. It's just like being at a restaurant and having to tip your waiter or waitress. I personally always allow the customer to add a tip. You don't have to. The next thing is a note to the recipient, a note that you are sending off to the person who is going to receive this invoice. I'm going to go ahead and fill this in real quick, as well as my terms and conditions. I have a standard terms and conditions for serviceable goods. I actually Googled it and I just tweaked it until it matched my needs and I put it in there, but I'm just going to do something random to add in here for the sake of this video, just so you can see once we save the template and preview it, what it's going to look like. All right, I went ahead and just added some quick terms and conditions. This was just something I came up with off the top of my head based on what kind of services I was offering. And again, same thing with the note to recipient, just something based on what I was offering. Your next option would be to save the template. When you click Save Template, it allows you to name it, and then you can save it. You could also have the option of making it your default template. Remember at the beginning when you saw the Freelance formatting template? That's because that's my default template. So whenever I click Create an Invoice, it's automatically going to show me that. Whichever template you create, if you click this Make This Default, that's the one it's going to show you. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this because I do not want to save this as a template, but I do want to show you this next thing. After you have saved this as a template, it will go ahead and let you continue editing it if you want, but it will no longer save template in this corner. It will just give you the option to preview it or send it. So let's go ahead and preview what your client will see based on the information you have here. So when you preview the template, this is what your client will see. And you have the option of either save, well, again, if you save the template, it won't say save template, it will say send. And you can choose to either send it via PayPal or as a link that you share yourself, or you can edit it, say you did something wrong. Like in this case, I have both the bronze, the silver, and the gold package all listed here. I would delete 2 of these before I sent it to a client. So I could edit it, of course. But this is exactly what your client's going to see when you send it. Something I would possibly do if I was going to do a discount like this, I would have another tagline added in here under the subtotal amount that would say what the discount was for. Because right now, yes, this says I'm discounting $225, and yes, I can look at this, but say that there's something that also costs $225 on here, I would like a little description of what's being discounted, such as the fact that chapter headings free with gold package kind of thing, just so that it doesn't confuse customers. Again, this is what your customer's going to see. It's got all your information on it. It's got the invoice number, and you can choose to then edit it or save it as send it once you've saved it. I'm going to go ahead and edit it so you can see what I mean. We're going to go ahead and take off this bronze package, and then we're going to preview it again. Now the final amount changed because we took off that bronze package, and it just says silver and gold package and the chapter heading. So that is how I create my invoices in PayPal. I hope this was helpful for you. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, and let me know down in the comments below whether or not you make your invoices for any freelance services you offer in PayPal, or if you use another program, and let me know how you like using it. Anyways, I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye, Dragonlings.